So we're here in Christian River, Florida, out of the plantation today. We're gonna be chasing grouper and cobia, and if I know you, it's gonna get your blood pumping.
I love it, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. All right, let's get after them.
It's like something you've never done before. I mean, these fish, we're gonna be throwing big swim baits, Rapala F18s, 6 to 10 feet of water. It's an adrenaline rush for sure.
Can't say I've ever caught one on a lip crankbait before, so you know, on the East Coast, it's a little bit deep for us, so we have a hard time fishing like that.
We're gonna make it happen. We're fishing with my good buddy Steve Grant of Diamond Fishing Products. This guy is energetic, he loves to fish, and it's gonna be a great show. So we're gonna start off throwing some lures here, see if we can bear through the grass, and we'll probably do a rotation between the F-Mag 18 by Rapala and a big Z-Man swim bait, seeing if we can get these fish fired up on this rock. We're in about 8-10 feet of water, and see if we can find a couple groupers. That's gonna be the name of the game. We're gonna do a lot of moving, 15, 20 cast a spot. If we don't get nothing, we're on to the next one. We're gonna hit a lot of spots and we'll be able to make something happen by the end of the day.
All right, sounds like a plan, but Arnold needs to work out.
So fishing out of Plantation and Crystal River, you're basically as deep in the river as you can get here. So you get the whole view. We're going by the springs, headed all the way out the river. Beautiful, beautiful country in Crystal River, and all the way down basically to Chadzawitzka. All these little rivers that come out are just awesome. It's really old Florida, quiet, an awesome ride out. See a ton of wildlife, eagles, gators, a lot of ospreys. So it's a really awesome ride through the river, getting ready for your day. Right there, you see that bull? Look at the bull right here. Cast right there. Right there, you see the bull? Right out in front of you.
No, I definitely see him boiling, Brandon.
Little guy. First one that come up after it was way bigger than him. That wasn't the one that was boiling. They come up behind my bait the first time, but they're definitely here. Once that current starts moving a little bit more, they'll start biting better.
I've been in the fishing industry for about 25 years now. I've been with Diamond Fishing Products for the last 6 years, and I was able to come over here on a fishing trip and meet Captain Brandon last year. We had an amazing trip, caught some really nice grouper and some really nice snook, and looking forward to going fishing again today.
So I had you change from the bright orange or hot orange to the Dorado because we're in really clear water. It's a little bit clearer than it has been, so that more natural color in this clear water will make a difference. Probably trigger more bites than that bright color, but if that water gets a little bit dirty, we'll go back to it.
All right.
Get up higher so I can see where to cast. Good sign that we're already getting bites, and we have no current at all right now, so things are looking up, and when that current starts moving, they're going to start chewing. So I knew we were going to need the big gear today. I pulled my Saltigas out, lined them up with Diamond 80-pound braid and 80-pound leaders. It really gives you the power to pull these fish out of the rocks, especially on the swim baits. We were using 8 to 10 inch swim baits and just really slow rolling them across the rocks. So they were really close to the rocks when they hit, so you really had to have that pulling power to get those fish away from the rocks so they didn't break you off.
These things are amazing. They have seen some unbelievable battles, killed lots of fish. Brandon just can't stand it because the crocs are going to get him again today.
So Steve never really went and done this shallow water grouper fishing, especially throwing plugs. And I looked down and he is wearing a pair of camo Crocs. And I'm like, man, you don't understand what's about to happen to you in those Crocs. They're a little bit too slick for what's going to be happening today.
All right, Brandon, we're going to release a lot of fish today. I'm all about catch and release.
No, you're not. We know you too well. Don't bite in the clear water, Steve.
Well, that's good to see.
Look at what big one following him. Whoo! About to rip your arm off right there. Good night. Whew. That's what we're looking for right there. Whew. That is an insane bite. My God. Healthy one too, nice 25, 26 inch fish. Double double. Another nice. That is fun right there.
Yeah, that is an awesome
Look at
bite
that
right
fish.
there, man.
That is another
Nice
awesome
little
fish. I mean, doubling up on fish like this in the summer months on lures, crystal clean water, 8 foot, it doesn't get much better than that. A beautiful fish.
Awesome start.
Wow.
That's how I like to start, buddy. Thank you so much, man. This is awesome. All right, let's get a bigger one.
I think ate it on the surface almost. Look at that. Non-stop action now. That current just started rolling in a little bit here. It's gonna be a good day. One of these keys is when you get one to fire off and you get that bite, you gotta have another lure right in front of you. It kind of fires them up when that fish comes up and eats the first time. Then other fish kind of like fighting over it. One of the biggest things that I noticed filming today is we would pull up to a spot and get 2 bites right away, back-to-back cast. And that's a big key to keep these fish fired up. You want to keep a bait in the water at all times, trying to keep them going. If not, they're not really feeling the competition to get that bait at the time if you slow down, so they go back underneath their rocks and it really slows down. Even when I'm guiding out here, throwing these big plugs for grouper, I'll have 2 guys up front casting and I'll have another guy with a plug in his hand just at ready at all times. So if those 2 guys hook up, he'll fire out there and he'll keep the fish going, and we'll kind of keep that rotation. And that's a big key to keep the fish fired up and keep them on their toes.
There you go.
Woo.
Nice fish.
Beautiful fish. Another beautiful fish. That's a nice 26, 27 inch fish. I mean, they're slamming the plugs
That's
today.
awesome, man. He hit the crap out of that one.
Well then. The thing's all ready to get back, I can tell you that. My God.
Okay.
He is gone. The fish followed it all the way to the boat near. Man, I'm telling you, even these little tiny guys, they hit so hard because you're cranking so fast and they're swimming so fast. It's like, God.
Well, you're putting on a clinic so far today, Captain Brandon. Keep it up.
That color change made a difference, apparently. I kind of went to that more natural, even though it's a baby, but good sign. Changed from that green Dorado back to that
Went
silver.
to
more of a real
black and silver in first cast, got a bite.
that clear water, they want that natural color.
Hey, Brandon, you were right, man. First cast with the new plug. It's a little guy, but the right kind.
Hey, the nice thing about fishing with somebody like Captain Brandon is he knows what he's doing and he knows how to pass on his knowledge to his clients and customers. I was able to catch a couple fish with the hard baits, and then he was showing me what I was doing wrong with the soft plastics, and as soon as I kind of tuned in with what Brandon was telling me, we really had an awesome day. We fished really well together and we put a lot of fish in the boat.
Get it on the fall.
Brandon's gonna show you how to catch them today.
This guy. Beautiful fish. Another
25, 26 incher.
And after Brandon's instruction, we're hooked up. So it seems to be a pretty decent
There's a
one.
big one following him. Big fish follow.
So when you're fishing these rock piles, there's a ton of different things you can catch, especially on what we were throwing. Anywhere from king mackerel, cobia, groupers, snappers. There's a big variety of fish, and you never know what you're gonna catch.
I just got train wrecked by a big one. So.
All right, well, Brandon was up there showing me what I was doing wrong. Old dog can learn a new trick every once in a while. Look at that.
But you caught me on my downtime because I just got smoked by a big one, so I was having to retie, and you took advantage of it.
Well, Brandon was just telling me what I was doing wrong, and we switched over to some soft plastics and started nailing a few fish right off the bat. So let's get this one back out there and catch another one. So what is it we got here today, Brandon?
So
We got a couple of different things here.
Now that the tide's changed in, we got the grass is starting to get a little bit worse, so we had to go to these swim baits because as soon as that grass gets on that lure, it'll foul up, and these swim baits, you can kind of work it through the grass a little bit better. So we had to switch up to that, and it's just a Z-Man mag swim, and that's a 1 ounce head. I'm throwing mine on a 3/4 ounce swim bait hook, and I put a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight above it just to give it a little bit more weight. I don't have very many of those hooks left. A buddy of mine made those for me, and I'm running low on them. So this is a good alternative for not having the jig head, and this is completely weedless, as that can get a little bit of grass on it.
Well, one of the things I noticed is how heavy duty the hook is on this, and I know that's because we have to use so much pressure to keep them from getting rocked up.
Yeah, we're running, I would say 25 pounds of drag on these fish. They'll pull a little bit, but they're not gonna pull much. So the hook, the leader, and the line is a big key to this, to not breaking these fish off. And if you break them off, a lot of times they'll kind of shut down, but in this case, they're still biting pretty good.
So what do we got today? Was this, we got 80-pound fluorocarbon with 70-pound braid?
Yep, 80-pound fluorocarbon. When on the lures, a couple of the lure rods, I have 60 pounds just so they'll dive a little bit deeper, but with these swim baits, we go to the 80, and because we're fishing a little bit closer to the rocks, they'll come up and eat those lures, but with these, you're wanting to make contact with that rock.
Something else I noticed, if you don't mind me bringing this up to everybody, is I noticed you tie almost everything with like a crankbait style knot.
Yep, just a loop knot. It gives the bait a little bit more action, especially these and the lures. It gives them a little bit more freeway to wobble. That swim bait will give the action, so it frees it up a little bit more and lets it swim.
All right, very cool. All right, we'll see if we can't get another one.
So on today's episode, we really had two key baits. The 10-inch swim bait. This is a 3/4 ounce hook with a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight in the loop knot. So that'll get you down into the 8 to 12 foot range on a slow roll. I was throwing this on 80-pound diamond presentation fluorocarbon, about a 4-foot piece. It's a key to have good leader, because if those fish get you in the rocks, you can really pull them out. You have to have the strength to get those fish out of the rocks. I was throwing it on a Lexus 6-3-1 with 70-pound blue 8 carrier diamond braid. I go with the 70 on these reels just so I can get the casting distance on the casting reel. This is a 7-foot Harrier X jigging rod. It's a heavy action, so you really have the backbone to pull those fish out of the rocks. Don't bite, this is a big one. God. Smoked it. God. That is a fun bite.
Nice fish.
Spit her out. Freaking swallowed that thing. Beautiful fish.
Well, we're up here grouper fishing. Every once in a while, these incidental fishes are always fun to catch. Don't think he's gonna make it. We should net him. It's like a 32-incher.
You never know what you're going to catch out on these rock piles when you're grouper fishing. You catch cobias, mackerels, kingfish, snapper occasionally. These bigger baits though, the snappers won't get a hold of, but you just never know out here. Beautiful fish though.
Very cool. All right, not a keeper size fish, but a little nice surprise here while we're jigging off the bottom trying to get a grouper. Nice little catch here. All right, let's let him go.
So this floating gumbo, and it's like a slime basically on the water, has gotten really bad, as well as the floating grass. So we had to go to these swim baits to get away from it a little bit. I mean, we're still getting it, but if that plug even gets the slightest bit on that lip, it starts spinning in circles, and it's really been a good change. We've been catching a lot of fish on these swim baits. It's basically just letting them fall to the bottom and a really fast retrieve to get them. It's basically a reaction bite. It takes me back to my roots of bass fishing. I've traveled all around the country, so swim bait and bass was a thing I did for a very long time, and I've really come in handy learning it to catch these big groupers.
The power of these fish is really unreal. I'm using Daiwa Saltiga 10,000s. They put out 60 pounds of drag. We're running about 30 to 40 pounds of drag, because if they pull you into those rocks, they're gonna break off, and they will pull that 30 to 40 pounds of drag out. And when you get a drag puller, you know it's a big one.
Yep.
Let me with you. Ooh, yeah, this might get a good one there. Yeah. Why are you grunting so much?
Well, you know what? At least my Crocs ain't slipping yet.
I told you were going to catch some big fish today, and you're over here going, oh yeah.
That's a pretty nice one right there, buddy. Yep.
I'll help you with that.
Surprisingly really good fishing. There's a lot of fish around for this time of year, and I was kind of expecting a grind, and it really didn't turn out that way. Every single spot we went to, we caught fish, whether it was cobia or grouper. It was a really good day of fishing, and it really surprised me for what the water temperatures are to have a day like that.
Yeah, baby.
Biggin'.
Nice fish.
Beautiful fish.
That was an awesome bite on that one. Hit it on the way down again.
That's definitely a 10 or 12 pounder. That's what we came out here looking for, and that's a really respectable fish for this 8 to 10 foot of water. Beautiful fish.
That was awesome bite. Very awesome bite on the soft plastic.
Catch right there. Reel up. Just reel up, Steve.
Bruiser. Nice fish.
Oh, you shot followed it right there. Cast right there. He's all over it. He's all over it. Crank fast. Right there. You're going to get one. Beautiful fish. That's a bruiser there. Solid fish.
Very nice, man.
I might have got you on the last spot of the day on big fish.
I don't know. I think you may have. It's pretty
Beautiful
close.
fish. Nice.
It's been an amazing day, though, man.
That is another respectable keeper. I mean, we're in 6 foot. We came back in here to the shallows this afternoon, and it's paid off big time.
And the water's absolutely crystal clear today, so.
Well, the bite kind of started off a little bit slow for us today, but once they started getting going, man, we were catching them 2 at a time. And I tell you what, as soon as you put them groupers face in the water, they get a little bit of water over their gills, and they splashed us. They splashed the camera, which was awesome. But no, it was amazing, man. Amazing to see the power of these fish, even for their size.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Amazing day.
We'll head back to the Tiki Bar at Plantation, have us a little dinner and a cold beer.
Sounds like a plan. All right, amazing day. Thank you so much, Cap.
I always look forward to having the guys from Diamond on the boat. They're always fun. They're a great time. They love to fish just as much as I do, so they're go-getters. We'll fish daylight to dark and get it done.